Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And right now, if you order from FijiWater.com, you can receive a 25% discount on 2 cases or more. Not a subscription, but a one-time order. The code is SPRING, because spring has sprung. You can order 2 cases or more, you will receive a 25% discount at FijiWater.com. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we are excited. We had a glorious time yesterday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, where we celebrated our 17th church anniversary for our local church. We are thankful. We are so thankful for the opportunity to celebrate and to serve, most importantly. So as always, we tell you that on Sunday mornings, you can join us. If you're in our area, you can come and worship with us at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809, where I serve as senior pastor. As for all of our new listeners and viewers, of course, as you know, I'm Pastor Pope, and we are here with you live in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. But on Sunday mornings, we have 10 a.m. Sunday morning service. If you're not in our area, you can tune in right here at 10:45 a.m. when we go live with the Sunday sermon. And now you can listen to us daily. So you all know that we are on Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, we are RadioFreeNetwork.com Live. Go to RadioFreeNetwork.com and /new-life. And all of our broadcasts, our video broadcasts, are available to you. Now you can listen to our 24-hour internet radio station, WKAP Faith. Go to RadioFreeNetwork.com /WKAP hyphen slash. Let me do this again. Faith. RadioFreeNetwork.com /WKAP Faith. Short link is available also at rdo.to /WKAP. So we're live now. You can listen to music 24 hours a day. And as time goes by, you will be able to hear segments on the radio, on our radio station, WKAP-Faith. Also because you will be able to hear 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. You'll hear segments on health and wellness. You'll hear segments on financial literacy, segments on mental health and wellness. You'll hear segments on entrepreneurship. So we're going to continue to build out the station, but we are live right now, and you can hear music, and you will also hear music throughout the day. We will offer commercial-free music for 1 hour. There will be no commercials for 1 hour solid. You'll just be able to hear music, but we'll be adding, of course, sponsors to our broadcast to continue to grow the broadcast as we continue to move forward. We were so excited yesterday in our anniversary celebration because of the launch of the radio station and because we had a glorious time. The men actually led us in praise and worship. So we just had a wonderful experience yesterday, but we want you to be able to tune in to all of our platforms so that you have a place to go and be encouraged, be empowered, and be inspired by the Word of God and the voice of those who have been chosen to lead us daily in a place of worship and praise on our internet radio station, WKAP-Faith. But go to radiofreenetwork.com/WKAP-Faith. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers today. It came in probably 2 weeks ago, and you indicated that your significant other ended your relationship recently, and once again you are hearing the same complaint about the way you live within a relationship, and you say that you don't agree, but you really wanted prayer about this. And I have to tell you, I was prayerful about this throughout the last couple of weeks, and I asked God to show me in that secret place so that you would really have a better understanding of what's happening with your relationships, that they continue to come to an end. And God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. And one of the things that we have to constantly do is examine ourselves. And so even though you don't agree with the statement that was made when your significant other ended the relationship, you have to recognize that when you're hearing the same things over and over again, there's only one common denominator, and it is you. You have to recognize, and I've had this conversation with people over the years, so you're not the only person that has gone through this, but I've had this conversation with people over the years, whether it's in your personal life or whether it's in your corporate life, or for some students, whether it's in their academia life. We've got to recognize that when there's a repeated problem, when there's something that occurs over and over and over again, we have to look at the fact that the only common denominator is you. You're the only one who's involved in every relationship that has come to an end. You're the only one who's involved in the challenges that you also face in your professional environment, because people there are changing parts. Let me go through this, because this will not only bless you, but it will bless some of our listeners and viewers also. One of the things we have to recognize is that when people are saying the exact same thing or even similar things, so in your case, the relationship, every relationship that you've been in has come to an end. And each of those relationships, there may be some variables that have been stated, but there are certainly some repeated comments that you hear over and over and over again. And if you're hearing those repeated comments over and over again, you can't say to yourself, I'm just choosing similar men who are having the same problem with me. You have to examine, does what they're saying make sense? It's not even a matter of do you agree or disagree. It's not even a matter of it's your opinion. It's simply a matter of, is what they're saying make sense? The comments that are exactly the same, do they make sense? And then you have to ask yourself, the variables, even if they're comments that are being made that vary from point to point, you have to ask yourself, is there a direct correlation between the points that are being made? And then if you analyze those perspectives and you come to the realization that Yes, the same comments are being made over and over again. And yes, even though there's some variables, there's some correlation to what's being said, to the relationships coming to an end. You have to say to yourself, the only common denominator, because those are all different individuals making those comments. They're all different individuals bringing different life experiences to the table, to the relationship. You have to say to yourself, I'm the only common denominator. And then you have to decide, what are you going to do differently in the next relationship? Because the goal at the end of every relationship is to learn something that will allow you to be successful in the next relationship. You have to say to yourself, what can I do differently that is going to allow me to be successful moving forward in relationships? And then you have to decide what you're willing to change. Because if you like you just the way you are, then you're going to continue searching for someone who can accept who you are. But the question you have to ask yourself is, if I don't make some changes, am I going to maximize my success in relationships, my success in my personal life, and is it spilling over to my professional life and is going to have an impact on limiting my success in my professional life? Because you've got to know there's a direct correlation between those two, between the personal aspect of life and the professional aspect of life. So what changes are you willing to make? What changes do you desire to make? And then you have to come up with a strategic implementation plan. Many of you have heard me use this term before about many different things, but you have to come up with a strategic implementation plan. Something that you can chart out and develop and then implement. That's going to enhance your relationships. That's going to lead to success in your relationships. That's all part of this. But first we have to get to the point where we understand that the one common denominator in all of this is you. And we all have to do that. We all have to examine our lives. The Bible says, let a man examine himself. Well, let mankind examine himself. That's male or female. Let us examine ourselves and decide what we can do differently and what we can do better to become a better version of ourselves. So, this is something that we've talked about in our church often is about, working out your salvation. Because that's what being the best version of yourself that you could possibly become truly means. That you're going to work to become the best version of yourself for those of us who are saved, by working out your salvation. Now, if you're here today tuned in and you're not saved, but you're tuned in because someone encouraged you and inspired you to tune in to hear a word from the Lord, that is what we're here for, to make certain that we work out our salvation or become the best version of you that you can possibly become. That's what God desires for all of our lives. And if we want to experience the fullness of God, walk in our purpose, maximize our success, that's the only way to do it, is to constantly be examining ourselves to determine what we can do better and then implement it. So even if you don't agree with what they've been saying, you've got to look at, first of all, I'm the common denominator. Second of all, is what the comments that are being made repeatedly, do they make sense? And then lastly, what's the correlation of the variables that are being stated to me every time a relationship comes to an end? Because you're hearing the same things over and over again. You're hearing them. You're just not choosing to accept what you're hearing because you're dealing with the conclusion of the relationship coming to an end from an emotional perspective versus the practical perspective. And the practical perspective is we just got to search through the rubble and figure out what we can do differently. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue where you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you can receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers, you can now tune in to our 24-hour internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio. Go to radiofreenetwork.com/WKAP-faith, and you will be able to listen to music 24 hours a day. You'll be able to listen to segments, what we talked about earlier, but you'll also be able to hear as we continue to move forward. We'll be interviewing gospel recording artists. We will also be having our students from the Achievers Academy interview celebrated individuals. So there's going to be a lot of things going forward as we move forward, but you can tune in now. We are live on radiofreenetwork.com/WKAP-faith. And if you have any songs that you would like to request, please text the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will eventually get them into our rotation. Make your request. At some point, we will be doing requests on air, and we're going to be doing a lot of things. We're excited about what God has done and what He's doing. So be excited. Stay tuned in. radiofreenetwork.com/WKAP-faith. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you and your husband own a successful franchise business. However, your husband now has some health issues that requires surgery, which will take him away from the business, and it's all going to be on you. So you are concerned that it's going to be a little overwhelming. First of all, let me say this. Let's eliminate the expectation that it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be what it's going to be. But let's eliminate that from the thought process, that it's going to be overwhelming. Your expectation is going to determine just how overwhelming it's going to become. So let's change the expectation. And the expectation is that you are competent to continue working the business while your husband goes through his recovery. Now, but first and foremost, I want everyone to understand what I'm about to say and take this in the spirit that it's intended, because what you've got here is a personal and professional challenge. And so you're going to be dealing with a husband who has to have surgery, and he will have his surgery, and it will be successful. To God be the glory. And after the surgery, he's going to be at home going through recovery. So you're going to have to manage your time effectively and efficiently. You're going to have to make certain that your husband is taken care of before you leave the house in the morning. You're going to have to schedule a time when you can check in with him. You're going to have to make certain that even while you're at the franchise, that you check your text periodically. And then you need to, the two of you are going to have to make a decision on who's going to be the additional emergency contact. So that if for some reason you miss his text, he can reach out to the other party, they can then reach out to you, but you're gonna answer your phone calls because you know he's laid up. But here's the reality. You're gonna have to focus on continuing the business throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, you go back to making certain your husband's taken care of. What you don't want to do, and you got to take this in the spirit it's intended, because I know people are going to say, well, her husband's going to be at home, she needs to go and check on her husband. But there's a way to do that, to structure a method to do that, so that you can take care of the business that you and your husband have successfully built together, so that when he is restored to great health, and he will be restored to great health, God has spoken, and he can then return and take some of the load off of you that you've been carrying while he's laid up. He'll give you a break after he is restored to great health, just so that you both can get back in your rhythm. It's going to be fine. It is going to be well with your soul, but you have to change your expectation. Don't look at it from the perspective that it's all going to be on you and it's going to be overwhelming because your husband does a significant portion of the business. You each have your segment of the business that you're responsible for, and that's a good thing. You're conducting business the right way. You're staying in your lane. But now life happens, and he needs that time to heal, but you need the time. You need to continue working the business. And one thing and I'll say this because God allowed me to see in that secret place of your lives while I was in prayer. Yes, your husband does need you during this, but most of what he's going to need is rest. Rest is going to heal his body. He'll have time to meditate, he'll have time to pray, and hopefully spend time in his Bible. But at the end of the day, he's going to need rest, and God will heal him. You're just taking care of him. But your responsibility now is going to be to focus most of your attention, and he's going to want that, most of your attention on taking care of business every day at the franchise, and then returning to take care of your husband. Just check in. It's going to be all right. You don't have to try to figure out how you're going to be at home with him in the morning before it's time to go to the franchise, and then how are you going to get out in the middle of the day to make sure that he gets something to eat, and just make sure that there's something in the house for him to eat, and he'll do the rest. And what he doesn't do, he won't do because he doesn't need to do it. But then you'll make sure that at the end of the day he eats, and you'll make sure that he's taken care of. But you've got to focus on the business that you both have built together. That's what he wants from you. Don't try to don't overwhelm yourself. Just set the expectation that you're capable of doing this in his absence. You're capable of continuing to work the business, and it'll be fine. It will be well with your soul. He will get through this. You will get through this. And together you'll both get through this and move forward. This is just the attack of the enemy to try to distract you by your husband having to deal with this health issue. Stay focused. Both of you, stay focused on what needs to be done to continue moving forward, and your lives will continue to be blessed. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, you can stop in at the retail stores to see everything that a man could possibly need. Shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you feel that you need a mentor to get to the next level. However, everyone that you have a personal relationship with is at the same level you are on, both personally and professionally. Okay, so let me say this. First of all, you've got to get out of the comfort zone of the people that you have surrounded yourself with. I mean, that's a great thing to have great friends and who are on the same level that you're on. One of the things you have to do, though, for all of us is to make certain that we surround ourselves with people who are also at the next level, so that you have some example to emulate. But here's the one thing you need to know. You don't have to get a mentor from the people around you. And let me share with all of us what you can do. You can identify someone in the general public who really is doing something greater than you're doing, and reach out to them. Look, send them a letter by FedEx if you can't get their email address. Call the office and ask to speak to them. And I'm giving you this analogy because this will force you to look at even people in your professional environment who are at another level that you might not feel comfortable contacting, but then you'll learn to network at another level, for lack of a better term. But what happens is that when you reach out to people who you don't know, who you recognize are doing great things, and you express to them that you're excited about what you see is occurring in their lives and at the level they're performing, and you just want to go to the next level, choose someone in your career sector, of course, your professional sector, and just say to them that you are really excited about what they're doing and the success that they're having, and you're searching for a mentor who can give you guidance and instruction that will take you to the next level in your professional career. That's a real way of attracting a mentor who is at a whole different level than you're on. And you've got to put the work in, because faith without works is dead. It's just hope. I know faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, but you also have to put some work into this. And then you have to trust God that God will open the door, whether it's from someone that you've contacted or because you have that burning desire to have a mentor. God will place someone in your life that you can then emulate at the level you're on to begin to go to the next level. I had that occur in my life in 2014, and God has been so faithful to provide me with that type of encounter, and then for me to have been blessed to have that someone that I can look to and emulate in some ways. I'm not at that level, but on the level that I'm on, it allows me to work to the next level, to build to the next level in all of this gospel that we're serving in daily. And then there's other people in my life from an investment perspective that I can garner from, and that I can glean information from that are at another level. And so I'm thankful for that. You can do this, and God will provide someone who is able to give you the guidance and instruction to take you to the next level. And that will be my prayer for you. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Remember, we are live with our 24-hour internet radio station WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio. Go to radiofreenetwork.com /